For many of us around the world, this year has been very difficult, but also there's been lots of restrictions on our lives and also our hobbies and what we can and can't do. But for many of us around the world, things are starting to change a little bit. It's starting to look a bit rosier and restrictions are starting to ease. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through how to get back riding and stay safe. The first thing I would say is stick to the local guidelines and rules on what you can and can't do when it comes to exercise and riding your bike. Now, these are different all over the world, of course. In the UK now, we can travel as far as we like to exercise and ride our bikes. That's in England. In Wales, you're not allowed to do that. So I've definitely seen it a bit recently where English people are going over the border into Wales, and that's, you know, against the guidelines over there, but it's also annoying some of the local riders when they're not allowed out to ride those trails and people are coming over sort of poaching their trails. So I think, you know, you've got to stick within the rules, but also it's worth thinking about trying not to, you know, really piss off other parts of the mountain bike community at the same time. Some of those guidelines involve what you can and can't do when it comes to riding your bike in groups as well. So until recently in the UK, you had to exercise by yourself. So in that situation, it's really important that if you're riding your bike, you're letting someone know where you're going, because if something should happen to you and no one's got an idea where to look, then you can get yourself into real trouble. That's the old school way of doing it. You can use new technology. There's, you know, track me things on WhatsApp. You can share your location. Of course, if you're using your phone, it's gonna potentially drain the battery. You don't want to be out by yourself with a phone battery that isn't working. So that's one thing to think about. You can use devices like Garmin's where you share your location on there. People can live track you. Even with that new 1030 Plus I've just done the video on, you can even share the route that you're going on, so people can see where you are on that route, and if they're trying to get ahead of you or maybe look where you're going to be, then they can see that on there as well. Whilst we're on the subject of techie gadgets that can help keep you safe, most GPS computers, I know the Garmin's do this, they have an emergency alert system. So you can do it on the watch as well, where if you hold a button or if you've got incident detection on that unit as well, if something happens to you on that ride, you can let your contacts know where you are. There's an ingenious app that's well worth having on your phone as well. I'm sure people will have heard of this already, called What 3 Words. Basically, every 3 square meters on the world are given these 3 unique words. So the app will give you these 3 words and that will pinpoint exactly where you are in the world. So if anything happens and you need to share that with someone, emergency services, contacts, whatever, it's a great app to have in your pocket. Something else worth thinking about is just trying to manage your risks. Now, everyone who's ridden mountain bikes for, you know, a short amount of time probably knows that you can't really get rid of all the risks. Even if you're riding within your limits, something can come out of the blue and you can fall off your bike. But it's definitely worth sort of taking it down a level, especially if you haven't ridden a lot recently, and just riding something that may seem a bit too simple, a bit easier than normal, but just to warm yourself up, get back into riding. Personally, I've been doing quite a lot actually of rides, lots of frequent rides, but not very big rides at all. So I know my fitness isn't great. You might have seen the recent video where I was showing off the brand new Garmin 1030 Plus head unit. And that was the biggest ride I've done in a long time, 50 kilometers and about 1,500 meters of climbing. But I did take it easy. It's when you need to sort of realise your limits, and accidents do happen when you're tired. So I cut the ride slightly short and made sure I got home nice and safe. Check your bike over. It might have been lying around for a while, or you've forgotten about jobs you needed to do before and never got around to it. So make sure a mechanical problem isn't going to cause you an issue. There's some pretty normal considerations as well that you should be thinking about when you ride all the time, but maybe you haven't been riding too much recently. So just think about the protection you need. Now, we've done loads of videos advising you on what's suitable. Of course, you need to make that decision yourself, but definitely think about getting the right riding stuff, be it helmet, gloves, knee pads, elbow pads, whatever it is suitable for that ride. You can make a plan of action of how to warm yourself up and get back into riding properly. I'd recommend maybe going back to the same place a few times. So nothing too advanced again, something maybe a bit mellow, ride there a few times, you'll probably feel like you really start to progress and get back into it. And then you can maybe, you know, go a bit further afield or try riding some gnarlier stuff. We've definitely seen, or I've seen some pictures of friends on the continent, places like Austria, Schladming and Lenzerheide. These bike parks have reopened, proper gnarly downhill tracks, and there's been massive queues to get onto the gondolas. So obviously there's loads of people keen to get out of lockdown and get riding again, but try and make sure you make a plan of action. So you're going to work yourself up. You don't want to get out there on the first big weekend of the year and have an accident. I'm very excited. You may have seen me build my Pole Stamina. I know, what was that? Probably almost a couple of months ago now, and it's sat in my garage, not been taken out because of the current situation. But today is the day, so come for a spin with me if you want. First hit. Yeah, hopefully you get back out riding. I'm super stoked on it at the moment, trying to think of places I haven't been for a long time and, you know, getting back into my riding properly. Yeah, if you're looking for those other videos, we'll have them in links down below, things about protection and finding trails as well. Give us a thumbs up if you can't wait to start riding your bike a lot more, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already. Cheers.